So what do we know about Sunac and the broader credit stress in China?
Well, when it comes to Sunac in particular, it looks like it may be trying to take advantage of the 30-day grace period on this dollar bond to make that coupon payment. But it has a lot of debt coming due just this quarter and 3 other coupons on dollar bonds coming due this month. So it's being extremely closely watched. There is some optimism, or there is some hope that they will make the payment. Sunac has shown willingness to make payments in the past, and its sort of top leaders have taken out loans, personal loans, to help service its debts. But more broadly, it is, of course, a reminder, along with that default from Junro that we saw just a couple of weeks ago, that the credit stress in China is very much not over. And while we are seeing the pace of default slow up a little, we actually saw many metrics of stress reach new nadirs in March itself. And we really are reaching an inflection point for the China's credit market. Even the onshore market is showing some increased signs of stress. In the offshore market, losses are at record low. Yields actually continue to rise. They hit an average monthly high around 25%. So this is a turning point for the market, which has been under so much stress for months and months. And we really are watching very closely to see where we go from here and whether the market itself, particularly offshore, continues to be sustainable.
So what next will developers or for investors really be watching for when it comes to the next part of this crisis?
Well, credit stress is still certainly likely to continue, of course, and developers are still driving that record pace of defaults that we've seen. At least 18 developers defaulting in the offshore market, and we see defaults by firms like Yango, CFLD driving the real stress when we look at China's provinces. We see stress in Fujian and Hebei, and I think there will be continued focus now on some of these sort of smaller firms that are taken to be signals of what and how authorities are going to approach credit stress going forward and what type of relief they're going to offer. We've seen, of course, that there was this tremendous rally after this flurry of statements promising to support financial markets back in mid-March. But actually, since then, there's been very, very little policy action. So investors are closely watching to see if any other details of a concrete plan emerges. So far, there is no plan to resurrect the property market. And of course, the broader background, lockdowns in China, these very costly lockdowns in Shanghai and elsewhere, slowing operations, those worries are really weighing. So all of this sort of amounting to a pullback in the rebound that we've seen, an ongoing concern that really in this sort of broader landscape, how property developers can continue to try and improve their sales, to try and get back on their feet, given the much broader stress that China is now confronting.